Hello everybody, welcome to my final Halo Infinite feedback video. Halo Infinite launches in just over a month. I can't believe the whole time has gone so fast. But there's a lot of feedback that you guys wanted me to go into specifics with. We have the Halo campaign overview, there's some stuff I really wanted to cover in that. So let's start with the progression system and the HUD. So the Halo Infinite progression system works, you level up through the battle pass. There's no actual XP progression system. After playing the last couple flight tests, I can safely say that the challenges where it's a challenge only based system feels boring. 200 XP, 100 XP, 300 XP, get kills with certain weapons. It's very similar to Halo MCC's earn a season point for completing a set challenge, but Halo MCC has that separate progression for just normal XP. I would really love to see a normal XP progression system come in. 343 says that they're listening, so I would highly expect a normal progression system to come in at some point during Halo Infinite's life cycle. But I guess the progression system as it is fits the whole paying to progress system. You can buy the double XP, which by the way has to be fixed because the double XP counts down while you're still in a lobby, not actually in-game time, which seems kinda eh. And then you have the challenge swap buyable. And I guess because it's a free-to-play game, this is kind of to be expected, but it just feels like a staple from the game isn't actually there. Moving on to the HUD, I saw a lot of people say, Remy, please cover the HUD. We don't like the way the HUD is. We don't like that everything is in one corner. It feels very cramped, very hard to see. So can you please cover it? Now, I'll just say from my personal experience, and you guys might have a different experience, is when I actually used it, I found it very hard to see what grenades I had selected. And the fact that I could walk over grenades on the map and not instantly pick them up because I already had a different class of grenades. So I had either frags and plasmas or frags and shocks. Also, as a little side note, I kind of panic and hold wire sometimes when I'm under pressure. It's just a coping mechanism I have when I play. I kept on throwing my gun out. But unfortunately, since switch weapon is bound to hold to drop weapon as well with the Y button, and you can't actually separate the two, I'd love to see it separated as well. Still, with the HUD, let me know your thoughts. I did a post on social media the other day. A lot of people said they didn't enjoy the HUD, but there was some people that actually did enjoy it. 343 actually covered in the latest Inside Infinite saying that Halo 5's was too sweaty, the HUD was too sweaty, and that's why they've changed it to the way it is. But I personally didn't find it as accessible as the older ones. Next up, we have the orbital weapon drops. When you're playing big team battle and a random weapon will drop into the sky, often I found the weapon was sitting there for a very, very long time. And since they're random, you can't just go to that spot and pick up the weapon throughout the game. It just sits there randomly and there's no marker. So it's a very simple thing. Please put a marker on it so you can actually see where the random weapons spawn in so you can actually go and get them. If it was a set weapon spawn, I'd say, no, don't worry about the marker. There is an audio prompt saying random weapons inbound, but when I look up into the sky, I can't actually see where it's dropping in. So I kept on trying to look around, couldn't find it. Next up, we're gonna talk about grapple jacking. Now this isn't actually something I've seen people talk about a lot, but what I found was with grapple jacking, it was too easy to hijack. You just press the grapple, it automatically attaches to the vehicle, and it's 100% hijack every time. At least for the Banshee, because the Banshee, at least from the flight test, is really underpowered. The maneuverability and moving it is really sluggish, but when you fly in a straight line, it's really fast, so it makes it very awkward to use. And also it's very flimsy, it dies very, very quickly from very minimal damage. So I feel like if someone's grappling to you and you do a flip, like a barrel roll or a backwards flip, it should break the grapple hook. I'd love for it to actually flip someone off into the other direction, that'd be amazing to watch, but that's probably asking way too much. But I also noticed that when you hijack someone now, and you kick them out of the vehicle, there's no stunning effect, so people can just instantly grapple jack you back. And actually, hijacking only does a third of the shields. So I don't know if that's an intentional thing by 343, but having, I reckon, 6 or 7 hijacks back to back to back to back is a little messy, but again, that's just my opinion. You guys have any good ideas as to what you would do to balance the grapple hook to make it better, while still maintaining its usability and not nerfing it into the ground? Specifically against vehicles, I think it's great on ground as is. Let me know in the comments again. Next up, we have some little things, some very small niche things, but I think they'll get fixed over time. We have the rocket launcher and the Banshee bomb explosion radius are both too small. The radar range is too small for BTB. The strafe acceleration feels too fast. Sensitivity overall feels too slow. It needs either more numbers past 10 or to be cranked up a little bit. Solo queuing players should not match a full team of coordinated players. I can't tell where I'm being shot from because there's no prompt or it doesn't indicate on your screen where you're being hit from. That's kind of a big thing, so I hope that's really looked into. And again, the collision between objects just isn't there. I notice you just phase through objects when you try to walk into them. I still feel like the collision and physics in general need a little bit of work. I'm not sure how much is going to get done between now and release, but I've seen a lot of people say, well, the collision still isn't great. Sometimes splattering people feels a bit awkward, but ultimately we'll see when the game launches if there's any improvements in this area. The last little tidbit I'd like to mention is sniper bullets do not ricochet off of surfaces. So in every single game, if you fire a sniper bullet at the ground, it'll bounce off the ground, you can hit people with it. It doesn't do that in Halo Infinite, so I hope that's something that's brought back. We've also seen that the new medals that 343 has shown off are basically the exact same older medals, just with a broadened outline. So I'm still kind of concerned that the Halo Infinite overkill to Killionaire medals are all going to be red. Again, time will tell with that. The final bit of feedback I want to give for Halo Infinite's multiplayer is the smart spawning BTB system. Now, the way Halo Infinite works is that if one team is being destroyed, certain vehicles will spawn and other teams will get different vehicles. So say one team is demolishing, that team may get no vehicle or a ghost, whereas the other team might get a scorpion or a wraith or something more heavy to actually try balance the teams in their favor. Now, I don't know if this is because it was a flight test or it wasn't finished correctly or it was still in a beta, but when my team was demolishing, I got the tank, and when they were getting destroyed, they would get nothing. I just found the drops were very inconsistent. More than that though, the respawns on the map I've always felt should be fair across the board. One side on fragmentation would get a skewer, one side would get a sniper. This was really unfair because the one team that got the sniper would just absolutely shred through everybody, whereas the skewer could only take out certain vehicles, and generally speaking the skewer is very hard to use, especially at range. But that about wraps up all my Halo Infinite feedback, and there's been a lot. I've made about 3 videos on this. I could make even more about the Battle Pass if I really wanted to. I don't have too much to say about the Halo campaign overview, but what I will say is about the boss fights. I hope they're not bullet sponges. I hope they really have unique mechanics that make them fun to fight. It'll be interesting to see if you can backsmack them or not with a one-hit kill, or will it be turned off? After playing the multiplayer test, there's some really cool launches you can do, specifically with hammering a mongoose, then shooting it with a skewer while it's in midair. It'll actually send it flying across the map. Combining that with the grapple hook, the repulsor, and multiple equipment should be able to fly a really long way across the map. Throw in skulls, because skulls are confirmed to be coming back. If there's a cowbell, a Sputnik, or a feather, you'll go even further. So I've got a lot of really cool ideas for when Halo Infinite's campaign rolls around. Again, we're about a month away, which is super exciting. I hope there's some more promotional stuff that comes out to really hype up the game, maybe one more trailer. But thank you all so much for watching. Hopefully you guys all enjoyed today's video, and I will see you guys tomorrow. See you later, guys.